sports, so much to see here. I'll even add so much to hear here. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Everything happening right now in sports. And frankly, I think it's sensational. It's one of the most enjoyable Mays that I've had in quite some time, even though the Boston Bruins have been on the golf course a heck of a lot more than I have. That's a problem, right? No doubt about it. Hey, how about the Astros 2 nights ago? They no-hit the Rangers. Last night, same two teams. Astros give up 8 runs in the first inning, okay? How does that work? How does it work in the National Hockey League playoffs that Colorado puts together one of the greatest teams that we have seen in recent history? And they get absolutely torched by a team in Las Vegas who fired their coach, the great Bruce Cassidy. Butch, the one-time former coach here of the Jacksonville Lizard Kings, right? Went on to the District of Columbia, learned a lot there, had to rebuild his career in Providence with the AAA affiliate, Bruins. Took the Bruins to just a phenomenal run until Patty Bergeron and David Krejci and some others were saying Bruce was a little bit too hard on him, a little bit too tough on him, so they let him go. Then he goes off to Las Vegas. He wins the Stanley Cup. Well, they fire him right before the playoffs begin. They bring in John Tortorella. All they've done is go 19-4-1. Absolutely spectacular. Now you have all the hockey purists that are coming out saying, this is bad for business. This is wrong. You need to change the playoff landscape. We can't keep it the way that it is. You can't allow a team with 39 wins to knock off the best regular season record in the National Hockey League. First of all, hockey purists are gone. Okay, that left decades ago. That left when you went from 180 feet to 200 feet. That left when you lifted the red line and said, let's, no longer have a 2-line pass. That was gone when they allowed the domination of the players to come from Sweden and Finland and Czech and everywhere else and bring the finesse style of hockey to the National Hockey League. That ended when you allowed a 3-on-3, 5-minute freaking overtime in the regular season and Olympic Games, I may add. Of course, nothing compares to sudden death playoff hockey. So purists are gone. It's like old school. It's like old school in football. It's gone. I mean, it's just not around anymore. Now, I don't like the brackets within the same conference, the way they do it and break it up, whether it's the Atlantic, Metropolitan, Central, or Pacific. I think it should still be the top 8 seeds, 1 against 8, 2 against 7, 3 against 6, and just continue with that. Not once you get to the second round, say, all right, Dallas, you must play Minnesota, even though you had far more points than the regular season leader of the Pacific in Las Vegas, right? It would be like in a weird set of circumstances taking the Big Ten and the SEC, and instead of allowing them to go play a Big 12 team, an Atlantic Coast Conference team, they instead would say, no, the Big Ten, no. Indiana, you got to play Ohio State again. Ohio State, you got to play Michigan again. Penn State, you got to play Wisconsin again. Florida, you're going to play Georgia again. Alabama, you're going to play Tennessee. You're going to do it all again and again and again, as opposed to going outside and playing, cupcake conferences like the ACC and the Big 12. So they allowed it. They voted on it. They wanted it, okay? And now it doesn't work for Colorado, which screams. See, here's another problem about the purists. How can you be a purist in the National Hockey League when you're talking about a team in Las Vegas who's probably going to meet a team in Carolina? I mean, Carolina. That's NASCAR, right? That's hoops. That's maybe a tiny bit of football, maybe a smidge, but hockey? Yeah, Carolina, incredible record. We'll see what happens. Montreal, they have not been a team, obviously, from Canada who has won it all since 1993. So that could actually happen there. Then finally, you slide on over to college football, and my goodness, what a mess this is. You know what it is, really? It's embarrassing. You can't get two people to agree upon anything. You just look around, and it's one opinion after another after another. Now, Greg Sankey drops the news that, okay, we're going to get rid of Cupcake Weekend, which is always, before the Thanksgiving weekend of games, right? Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech, all the big games that are played, Clemson, South Carolina, the Iron Bowl, whatever it may be. Traditionally, SEC schools line up a divisional school. They line up a opportunity to get healthy and to, just go through the motions, if you will, although that can come at an expense. See, Florida State 3 years ago when Mike Norvell didn't have his team ready against Northern Alabama, and it cost Jordan Travis his career. Why Florida State was down, 13-0 before you knew what happened? I blame the head coach there. Get them ready. I don't care if it's a cupcake or not. Get them ready. There's no excuse being down like a score like that. Now, all of a sudden, SEC coaches are coming out saying, wait a minute. We were told that we would get rid of Cupcake Weekend only and go to a 9-game conference regular season schedule only if we were guaranteed to have at least 16 teams in the college football playoff. That continues to be really a major mystery. So that is ongoing, and we'll see. I mean, just look at today's headlines. This is nuts, okay? Let me share this with you. And I'm loving what's going. See, here's the way I've always looked at it. Sports get you away from your everyday problems, whether it's personal or professional. It really is more than a diversion. I think it's a flat-out escape. And that's one of the major reasons why I've always said I love the offseason more than I do the in-season when it comes to the Jaguars and, being a Florida State graduate as well. Because everything, once the fall rolls around, is what? It's measured on wins and losses. And when you lose, the players, man, they'll turn that page. If there's one thing NFL players, college football players of today are really good at, is turning the page, okay? They will move on. You won't. You'll take that with you all week long. And that's why I like the offseason more than the in-season. Now, that obviously changed a year ago. The Jags had a fantastic year. For the record, I picked them to go 10-7. I'll do it again once the regular season is about to start, but most importantly, it'll actually be what the thinking is the week of the game. I think you saw that according to Las Vegas, the Jaguars are favored in 8 games. They are underdogs right now in 9 games, okay? So if the record reflects the odds, Jacksonville this year would go 8-9. I don't believe that. I think they go 10-7. But again, the real test will be once we get to the week of the game. But anyway, that's how I've always felt. And I don't like ESPN. I can't stand ESPN because they sold out. I only watch them for games. However, I still am a huge fan of ESPN.com. You can kind of blow through the nonsense and get straight to the stories. And I still think that is a really good product. It's my start, nationally speaking, for everything. So I'm just, right before the show, I'm looking at the headlines. Number 1, Packers, Jacobs, out of jail. Investigation ongoing. Hurts and Brown, still really good amid trade talk. If you don't know, I guess A.J. Brown got married about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Jalen Hurts wasn't invited to the wedding. It's a big deal there in Philadelphia. I guess others as well have added an opinion to it. All right, Kirby Smart hints the SEC could leave the NCAA if there's no college football playoff deal. Vrabel speaks for 18 minutes today, is asked several questions about Diana Rossini. Cites family football balance is really good. according to the Patriots head coach. Bipartisan college sports bill proposes a salary cap. Trump will be at the NBA finals. So there you go. And then you get to, I guess that doesn't really matter. Golding at Mississippi going on to say he couldn't care less about the criticism that, was popped off by Lane Kiffin about how hard it is to recruit in that state, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's just kind of my point. Is it really a diversion? I mean, that's political. That's personal. That is complete changing of the entire landscape of a couple of different sports. It's legally a massive issue when you look at anything that is domestic violence. And again, I've always been one of those who believes that because I've seen the innocent be labeled guilty when it was anything but the case. And the best example I can ever give you of that would be Dalvin Cook in his final year at Florida State. Who's the guy that blocked me, the real hammerhead at ESPN? Not Stink, but who's the other guy? Is it Schleba? Is that his name? Not Mark Schleba, but is it Schleba? He does some golf as well, but he does college. He's a real coward. He blocked me because I was right and he was wrong. He had that in, the former state attorney or whoever it was, who just viciously went after Dalvin Cook. And I defended it because I knew that he was not guilty of those charges. I had heard from an impeccable source, and I brought that to his attention. So he did what most cowards do. He just blocked me. Anyway, that was probably a decade and a half ago. I think it's Mark Schleba is his name, college football writer, as well as within the world of college football. But I do. I mean, I believe everyone under these set of circumstances, unless there's a Ray Rice video, I think you deserve your day in court. I do. I believe that. And, we're guilty nowadays, and you must prove your innocence. As soon as you hear Josh Jacobs in jail, domestic violence, before even reading the story, I think most out there believe he's guilty. And maybe he is. I don't know if there's video. I don't know if she has more. I haven't really even gotten into the story. I'm just basically stating this because it was the top headline, still is the top headline right now on ESPN as far as their web is concerned. So there you go. I mean, the great games that we love, the getting away from the problems. When I'm sitting here talking sports with you, you shouldn't be thinking about gas prices, right? When I'm sitting here talking sports with you, you shouldn't be thinking about any other issues that are going on, whether it's in our city, whether it's in our state, or in our country. If you want to dive into all the problems, you'd be listening to news talk. I mean, and you're going to get totally different opinions depending on where you go, and that's fine. I think for the most part, outside of maybe blatant homerism, you usually get things that are fairly objective and honest when it comes to covering sports. But man, again today, seeing all this, I was just kind of like, that is pretty interesting. All right, so here's where we're going to go. Coming up next, I want to get back to the Jags. There were so many thoughts from a day ago during OTA session number 1. I want to get back to some of that. Maybe, some of you were unable to listen to what we said a day ago. And, I do have some thoughts. I also want to get back to Liam Cohen and what he said. I want to get to Trevor Lawrence and certainly what he said. And, there's not, how do I say this? There's really only good that comes out of an OTA. I mean, you really have to stink up the joint in order for someone to say, that was bad, that was awful, that was not a good day. I mean, there's been no wear and tear on these guys. They haven't hit. Yesterday, they're working indoors, perfect climate. You would expect it to be a really good day. And it was, okay? And I'm going to identify some of those that I thought came out and really had a good performance. But as far as guys just really disappointing, I don't have one for you. It just didn't look that way. And again, you eliminate half the people anyway who play the offense and defensive line, at least in my opinion. To me, it's linebackers and secondary, and it's obviously skill position guys on offense. So we'll have some fun getting into that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Certainly want to recognize them. And again, for you and your eyes, they're only going to get worse. That's a fact. In life, the older you get, your eyes tend to get worse. And why not make an appointment today? Get an examination while you're there. Ask about laser eye surgery. Just think about how cool it would be for the rest of your life, okay? I got after it. I'm trying to think what day it was. It was Sunday. Really got after it. Beach, just awesome. Cuban cigars, plenty of ice-cold cocktails. Visited my neighbor Jim next door. The bad boy kept filling up my glass with Jameson. I was like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Make a long story short, I passed out upstairs in my bar, right on the couch. I do it every once in a while. Woke up, my contacts were stuck to my eyes, okay? I literally had to almost grab a toothbrush to get those contacts out. Can you imagine having laser eye surgery? I'm not a candidate for it, so I can't get it. But you could. Never have to deal with that again. Never have to deal with looking for your readers again. More than 37 years worth of experience. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. Check them out online. Just go to Shmunez Vision. You can also look at Instagram and get all of the testimonials. All right, we got a lot to do tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun here over the next couple of hours. JJ LaSelva is here. I'm Rick Ballou. We call this show Into the Night.
This organization, do you know what it's called?
Its name is
1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
If you think it's great to be you can get more Gators anytime on the Gator Podcast channel.
Go Gators!
Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
The weather is heating up, and it's time to drop a line in the water. Gear up today at Green Acres Sporting Goods, Jacksonville's fishing headquarters. From Shimano and Penn Reels to Zoom baits and much more for saltwater and freshwater fishing. They've got everything you need to land the big one. And when your gear needs work, trust their expert rod and reel repair to keep you casting like new. Stop by Green Acres today or shop online at greenacresporting.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership costs. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for fixing my air conditioner last week. It's way nicer at my place now.
Glad we could help. Good to know it was just a small repair.
I know, a new air conditioner can be pretty expensive.
I mean, they do keep your whole house nice. That's a lot of space to keep cool.
I know.
And they do it all summer long, even when the weather is totally Jacksonville temperature outside.
I know.
Luckily, if you ever do need a new AC, we can arrange a financing plan that'll make it easy for you to handle.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa. They can show banking information? Cool glasses.
Short term, long term, low interest, zero down payment. There's all kinds of options for bigger projects or even repairs as low as $500.
I wish I had these math sunglasses in high school.
You and me both, pal.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the show is brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. Going to get there in just 1 minute. Also, John Osher at 7 o'clock, his thoughts on OTA session number 1. You know, the only bad thing about an OTA yesterday is you want to watch another OTA today. And that is not the case. Our next opportunity will be Monday. Okay, I think there's 5 remaining, including 3 that'll be mandatory mini camps. And you as fans are allowed to attend the Miller Electric Center on June 10th. I would go to Jaguars.com to get all the information on how to register in order to be there. JJ LaSalva, what's the latest? How's the wife?
Oh, she's fantastic. She's very pregnant. She's about to blow up.
Okay.
We got like 3 weeks left.
Do you really?
Something like that.
Wow.
And yeah, she's been awesome. Went to the beach this weekend. No complaints from this woman.
Wow.
For like months. Nothing. Honestly, it's crazy.
Because you would think a lot of pregnant ladies would be like, nah, with the heat.
All of it. And
Yeah.
just like I've heard so many girls be like, man, I hated being pregnant and all this. Honestly, big ups to Blake because she's kept all the complaints to herself if she has any. So
All right.
it's been pretty good.
When's your next podcast?
It just got released today, just now. If you go to 1010XL's YouTube page, we're the first video. The U.S. national team just released the World Cup roster. We only got a couple weeks before that starts. And, yeah, give me a watch, give me a listen. Thank you for the plug.
You got it. Let's get to Travis Hunter here, who did speak to a couple members of the media today. He was at a high school summer pass program today at the gym over at Jacksonville's Planet Fitness. And he did have a few brief words to say to some members of the media. Let me start this off by stating, and I talked about this, yesterday. It's so hard to describe what Travis Hunter is like if you're not there. But here goes. Looks like he just ate a ton of candy before walking out on the practice field at the Miller Electric Center, because this man is jumping all over the place. Okay, he can't stand still. And we know that he's not going to do hardly anything during OTAs. Liam Cohen told us that a while ago. James Gladstone told us that a while ago. I think they said that to us in their pre-draft meeting. Okay? He is expected to be 100% coming up in the latter part of July once training camp officially gets underway. But you watch him. He's standing still. He's catching balls from Trevor Lawrence. He's constantly working on his craft. He had an earpiece in yesterday and would stick his head into the 11-man huddle. And as soon as they break, he would break with them. He'd go off to the side and line up like he was a wide receiver. Again, I may not be doing the best job describing to you what it was like, but I've seen injured players and players in rehabilitation for 35 years. I've never seen anything even close to what this guy is doing. He looks more than antsy. He looks like he wants to be out there so bad. And obviously you trust the team doctors and They're bringing him along the way that they believe that, in fact, he should be brought along. I want to get to a comment yesterday made by Liam Cohen on Travis Hunter, but let me update you. Today, Hunter was asked by members of the local media who were at this event about, again, those who were over-criticizing, he can't go both ways. He's not going to be able to survive in this league by playing both offense and defense. He said, and I quote, "It didn't bother me. They've been doing that my whole career." He went on a little bit later on, talked about the earpiece, talked about being totally invested and involved in everything that this football team is doing, even though he is not participating officially in any of the drills, whether it's individual or team related. So where does that leave what he's going to do up until the start of training camp? Yesterday, Liam Cohen was asked just that.
You know, the virtual room, has been really good for Travis to be able to go in there. We expanded that room downstairs to make it one big room. And man, you can go in there and essentially play a game, like almost like, you know, from the defensive back's perspective, all you see is the linebackers, the D line, and the offense. And so he can go in there in a half hour and play a game and just go. Right now, you're not going to be able to get a ton of all the routes and how they play out. But alignment, assignment, making calls, adjustments to formations has been so valuable to him. And then to get out here and be able to hear the call, go line up, say what he's got, kind of walk a few steps through. You know, I've been very pleased with Travis in the way, like, he looks, his upper body, the way that looks. I mean, he runs outside of my office in the mornings, and I mean, he looks like he's been in the weight room. So I've been very pleased.
I got to go look at him yesterday. Did you look at his upper body? Had maybe added some weight. I obviously spent a lot of time looking at his legs. They were the thinnest legs, smallest legs I've ever seen a year ago in my initial observation of Travis Hunter. But what is real intriguing here is the best of the best of the best outwork the others. Walter Payton, Jerry Rice. I remember Mickey Andrews forever telling me that no one worked harder than Deion Sanders over in Tallahassee. This virtual room, okay, I was lucky enough to get a tour of the Miller Electric Center right before it was complete, and they say they expanded it. I imagine this is the same room that blew me away. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like the video boards and everything around is life-size NFL players. Your opponent, you pull up the team, you pull up the game, and the way that they have it, you know, you and the offense is gone. You're just looking at the defense. And it's not on a computer. It's not on a big screen. It is on an enormous life-size screen. If the defensive linemen weigh 330 pounds apiece, they're standing right in front of you, weighing 330. You know, I'm sure sooner or later, everyone in the NFL is going to have this type of technology, this type of equipment. But the first time I saw it a couple of years ago before it opened, I just could not believe what this was all about. So this is where I gather Hunter is, you know, working on his craft. I could be wrong. It could be something else, but I'm under the impression that is the deal. Gotta love his work ethic, man. And you've known me for a while. I wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't the truth. I mean, and I think this is going to rub off on others. I wouldn't say he's a leader yet. He's played 7 career games. I think you have to earn your way to being a leader in the National Football League. But, man, the way that this guy works and is so fully involved in everything that's going on, even though he's not 100%, is really cool.
I don't think he's ever going to be like the vocal leader guy. I think he's said that, like, when he got to the league, that's really not him. We could tell in pressers they're very, very short. But, yeah, just leading by example and working his ass off both sides of the ball, trying to get back from this injury. Yeah, there's not too much leadership on that defense, so maybe he can become one.
Work ethic, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of, Josh Hines-Allen not at OTAs yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, he was not there. He was out. You know, Chris Rodriguez was out. There's a lot of rumor there, and certainly I did not see Cole Van Lanen. Van Lanen may have been working to the side. I missed
What
him.
a mystery.
Obviously,
we'll never know what happened with that.
But Cole Van Lanen?
Yeah, I mean, just tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us the injury. Jesus, man.
He got, he
tore his ACL.
He missed the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
Oh, well. And yesterday, you're starting, well, am I supposed to say this or not? I don't know. Rhino, how? I'm going to throw someone else. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm a team player. I am. But let me say it this way. I'm not saying he was first, second, third, fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, or 10th team. But yesterday, Walker Little was working at tackle, not guard.
Left tackle.
Yes. There you have it. All right. Tonight's show brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander has been AV rated by Martindale-Hubbell since 2004. It's the gold standard for any lawyer, and less than 10% actually get this rating from the peer review ratings. Now, Rick Alexander is now a huge part of the Alexander Law Practice. And for starters, here's what you get. Direct contact with Rick Alexander. His name is on the firm. He will be working directly with you. If you've been injured in a car accident, if your car is totaled, if your car is beaten up, if you are physically injured and you have all these questions and you're scared to call a law firm because you think they're going to bill you for the phone call, they're going to bill you for everything. Not the case at the Alexander Law Practice. 0 consultation fee, 0 retainer fee, okay? You're not going to be billed for the phone call. You're not going to be billed for the sit down. You're never going to come out of pocket, okay? And at the end, hopefully it ends up being very prosperous for you as you go through this incredibly difficult time. 2 ways to reach him. My advice, go to Alexander Law Practice. If not, you can call him at 400-6600, but best bet, go to AlexanderLawPractice.com. All right, coming up, we got much more to do here on the Jags. I want to give you a couple of guys who stood out for me yesterday in a good way. First opportunity to see the 90-man roster. We saw the Jaguars rookie minicamp about 2 weeks ago. But some guys who stood out yesterday. We'll do that. Also, John Osher set to join us coming up at 7 o'clock.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Looking for ways to save on your JEA bill? We're on it. When it comes to your utilities, the less you use, the more you can save. That's why JEA offers ways to help you manage your usage and avoid higher than expected bills. Use our online tools to monitor your usage throughout the month. Schedule a free irrigation or energy efficiency assessment and get personalized tips to save. And with JEA rebates, you can save when upgrading to more efficient equipment. Find more ways to save at JEA.com.
When you're craving scratch-made food, 29-degree draft beer, and the best seat in the house for every game, there's only one place to go, Twin Peaks. E.T. here, and from juicy burgers and smoked in-house wings to ice-cold brews served by the friendliest team around, Twin Peaks is the ultimate sports lodge. Wall-to-wall TVs everywhere. You'll never miss a moment. So grab your crew and head over to Twin Peaks, where the views are impeccable and the food hits every time. And the beer is always colder than your ex's heart. Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views.
Jeff Prosser here. When you need new windows or doors, you want high-end quality without the middleman markup, and that's why I'm telling you about Cash Building Material. Same premium materials, same beautiful finishes, but at a price that actually makes sense for your home. No subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. If you want it done right, the first time, get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Have you tried a Form energy drink yet? You need to, and it's available at Gate. 4 great tastes, screaming free to Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, and Grape Smash. Form energy, natural flavors, natural caffeine, and electrolytes for hydration are a perfect blend for energy and mental focus. Find it at Gate.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, the summer is here. In fact, I'm out on a little vacation right now with my family, and that's one of the great things about Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I'll talk about the coaching you get on Awaken 180. You know, some weight loss programs, what do, right? They just send you some shots. They say, all right, work it out. They send you an appetite suppressant, some sort of pill. All right, you're on your own. Not Awaken 180. You talk with your coach. Like my coach, Kate, every time I was on vacation, every time I had a family get together, we worked up a plan. We worked up something for me to follow, and then I would get right back on the program when I returned from vacation. It's one of the great things about Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and it's why I lost over 100 pounds. It's the best weight loss program I was ever on. They know life happens, but they work with you, and it's great. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. It's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Are you an experienced automotive technician and tired of working for employers who put profit over people? Then come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road and get trained on how to diagnose and rebuild today's complex transmissions. See how we're different. Get traction on your career and come to Action.
Equal opportunity employer. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
RG3 just posted, real men don't hit women. Needless to say, that has created a little bit of a firestorm. I agree.
Yeah, who would go against that? Who disagrees with that?
You know what? I don't know. Nowadays, hey Rick, who's the best golfer you've ever played with? 0253
Great
said
question.
that. I tell you who was. I mentioned his name a little bit earlier in the show. I tell you who was a fantastic golfer. Was Bruce Cassidy.
I feel like there's a lot of crossover between hockey and baseball players and golf.
Yeah. But, and this is, 96, 97, 98.
Okay.
Remember the last round I played, I can't remember the fourth was a buddy of mine. It was him and Prisco, Pete Prisco, Bruce Cassidy, myself over at Jacksonville Golf and Country. I'd have to give that some thought. You know, Reggie Jefferson and Dean Palmer are a couple of guys that I can think of over in Tallahassee who play pro ball, were really good golf. Let me give that some thought. The best that I've ever played golf with. Wow.
You never played in like a pro-am with like a
no
pro?
I don't think so. Yeah, I played in the Haight with some collegiate golfers, and I can't remember their name. But they were sensational.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were scratch. But you know, I can't think of that.
Who's the best at 1010XL?
Jeff.
Okay.
Then I think it's a run for number 2.
Between
you're looking at him.
You, who else? Frank.
Well, first of all, we are the most unathletic.
Well, golf, you don't necessarily have to be
radio
Bo
station.
Jackson.
Okay.
Dempsey plays a lot.
Dempsey plays. Cowart.
Joe.
I've played a lot of golf with Joe over the years. You know, Dan, I think Dan just plays a few rounds a year for those glorified tournaments.
He's not a golfer.
I don't know if anyone else at the radio station plays. Some sales guys play, Ken Brady and others, but I mean, how can you be an on-air talent and not play golf in Jacksonville, Florida? I mean,
isn't that how you guys sell? Isn't that the whole thing?
I mean, wow. Well, I got a possibility here with a client. Here's the deal. We're going to play 72 holes this week, and then we're going to get in only 54 next, and I hope I can get that deal done. Yeah, I mean, hey, to each their own. To each their own. All right. I'm going to get back to that question, 0253. I'm sure a couple will come to mind. I tell you who I saw play golf that would shock you more than anything. I saw him tee off with a Callaway, is Alice Cooper.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, what year are we talking?
96, 97?
Okay, so 30 years ago.
But I
how old?
He's
so
I think he's a regular.
Like, he probably would have been 40s, 50s.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of his name.
Where
right
was
now.
that?
It was over at Slammer and Squire.
Oh, it was in town.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of his name right now. He plays percussion for the Doobie Brothers. And he used to play in the Derek Trucks band. And there was a couple of years ago when I played golf with Derek Trucks. I think it was at Deerwood. And then we met him for dinner. I got to think of his name. And Susan came as well. And, the four of us had dinner. And this guy has the greatest life of any musician I've ever heard of, okay? He takes his clubs with him, no matter where they go on tour. And if there's a concert that night, he doesn't play. He gets ready for the show. He doesn't play. If it's an off day, I think it was Mark Quinones is his name. Let's see if you can Google that. Mark Quinones, yes. Sensational guy, okay? But on his off days, he plays golf. And when you pick up the phone and you call the best golf courses in that town and you say, yeah, this is Mark Quinones, I'm with the Doobie Brothers, and, well, Michael McDonald's going to play. Even if Michael McDonald's not playing, when you hear the Doobie Brothers, like, yeah, we can get you out here. As a matter of fact, the very next day, I had to work, but they were going out to play Sawgrass with Derek and Quinones.
Nice.
So they did like a 3-month residency in Vegas, and it was the same deal. The night they played Vegas, he would not play golf. If they had an off day, he would play golf. He travels the country with the Doobie Brothers, plays the best golf courses in America, most times for free. Not always, but most for free. And
just by throwing that out there.
How's that for a life?
I love that. Hey, by the way, just happened to be a percussionist for the Doobs.
Mm-hmm. Good old Doobie Brothers. I got to take a break here, don't I?
Yeah, you said you were sticking to the sketch.
Jeez, I just...
You're a minute and 18 seconds over.
I get so flustered around here. Okay, that is coming up, though. Hopefully you'll stick around for it because you never know what's coming up next. But see, listen, this is proof that I can be sidetracked by outstanding questions from you. Best way to join us, 641-1010, text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, 1010XL into the night.
What's the deal with the show? The 1010XL Podcast Network is now available just about everywhere you find podcasts.
I think the show's going to be a huge hit.
Search for your favorite 1010XL podcast in your platform of choice.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
We went to probably 4 or 5 jewelry stores.
Jacksonville's Mitch Vandal went to the town center looking for an engagement ring, but found the big box corporate jewelry experience wasn't for him.
Nobody was really helping us. One of the stores, some people walked in behind us and they were offered beer and champagne, and I'm wearing shorts and a cutoff, so I don't really look the part. So I was like, well, I guess we'll go somewhere else. I don't know if they think we can afford to shop here or what.
So he went across and discovered locally owned Beards Diamonds.
When I walked in, everybody just said, hey, welcome in, welcome to Beards.
Mitch loved the service and attention he got at Beards and ended up with a bigger, better quality diamond.
It was about twice the size of what I thought I could afford, and it was also about twice the size of what my wife thought she wanted.
Today, Mitch tells all his friends, shop local, shop Beards.
You're going to get the best deal on the best diamond.
Unbeatable value, unmatched selection, uncompromising personal service.
Anybody that I know, I want them to shop at Beards.
Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Come away with me.
That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Josh Scobie's pretty good. I'm going to put him on there. I mean, there's no doubt. I'll give you another guy, too. This would have been in 96, 97. Mark Burnell, during his tournament, which was back at TPC at Sawgrass, played with one of his collegiate teammates, Frank Garcia, who went to the Carolina Panthers. He was the center. I think he still might be doing radio in Carolina. He was really good. And that's kind of rare for linemen. It is. And he was sensational. So just a couple of names there. All right, let's get to some offense and some guys that stood out for me yesterday. I thought it was a really good day for Trevor Lawrence. You know, he made every pass. He had the one underthrow to Brian Thomas Jr. that was picked off by Eric Murray. That was the play of the day, period. I mean, it was a fantastic play by Eric Murray. But, I thought the route tree was fairly effective. It was a decent day running routes, and these are good route runners. You know, it was indoors. Obviously, the final portion of practice, they went back outside. It was blistering hot, and I wish the practice would have been outside. Hopefully, the rest of them are. I just, the indoor stuff, whether it's a regular season game or a practice, I'm just not a fan of. But I thought Trevor was right where he should be. All right, Chris Rodriguez was not there. The running backs looked good, and I always give you the obligatory, well, they're supposed to look good, and I agree with that. I would assume that all 32 camps around pro football, those in the media who watch them work out would probably say about the same thing when it comes to the stable of backs. They haven't taken any hits yet. They are fresh. They are ready to go. And anything less would be a disappointment. The number one guy with the carries was obviously Bayshell Tootin. Thought it was a really good day for him. I thought DJ Dallas had a nice day. You know, Abdul is there, the veteran. He's been in the league for 12 years. And certainly you brought in the undrafted Jamari Taylor. Then you look at Clint Allen Jr., who, you know, most of us remember that as a rookie a year ago, he led the team in third down snaps. Is he going to be your third down back? You talk about an every down back in the battle for most carries between Rodriguez and Tootin. What about your third down back? So we'll see. You know, I didn't spend the way that most reps worked. You had 4 quarterbacks thrown to a bunch of different wide receivers, and I want to say they had 5, maybe 6 undrafted, 4 undrafted free agents at wide receiver, a couple of drafted ones as well. I did not see Josh Cameron. And I know that he was off to the side during rookie minicamp a couple of weeks ago. Not saying he wasn't there. I didn't see him. Kind of like Cole Van Lannon. There were a couple of guys that I just didn't see. So I don't have a comment on him. But the big 3, as advertised, absolutely as you would expect. I mean, based on what I saw yesterday, in any particular order, you could say Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas Jr. were arguably 3 of the top 5, if not 6 or 7 players on the football field. I tell you where I didn't see an awful lot of yesterday was the tight ends. And I really keyed in on the rookies back during rookie minicamp. But the one tight end who seemed to be really active, and I wasn't looking for him, but I would almost notice them. I don't want to say by mistake, but when you got 90 guys out there and they're all working, individual drills, team drills, it's hard to monitor 90 players. I kept seeing Quentin Morris. And, you know, he looked good. An undervalued, you know, not going to move the sticks type of signing, and a guy now that you got to believe is really going to be fighting for playing time after the 2 draft selections that the Jaguars did make. That is what I saw there. All right, offensive line, nothing. I watched them a little bit, but they're not hitting. And, you know, I was trying to pay attention to Sean Surratt, and they brought in Brian Bacucci, who's now the run game coordinator, and that was a pick that obviously Liam got from Tampa. He had worked with Liam in Tampa. He had worked with Liam Cohen as well at Kentucky. And I'm just very interested in how the offensive line is going to work this year, because we keep on hearing it. Okay? Yesterday, Liam Cohen's talking about the deep ball, which needs to be added to this arsenal, no doubt. The other side of it is the 12 and 13 personnel, jumbo package, lining up and running the football. Run it. You know, 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, first down. And I know it's boring. I know a lot of people don't like it. I love it. I just love it when you can run the ball, when you can tilt the field, when you can take clock, when you can rest your defense, when you can orchestrate, author, and engineer a 12-play, 75-yard drive, taking 6 minutes and 22 seconds off the clock. To me, that's what it's all about. And also, when you run, what happens? Defenses have to cheat. They have to move closer in the box. They have to move to the line of scrimmage. What does that do? It opens things for your passing game. I did watch the rookie. Think he's got pretty good feet when you look at Emmanuel Pregnon, but again, they're not hitting. So I really can't give you anything else than just that. And once they do, I will certainly have plenty of guests on because, as I've always said, I think that's the hardest part of anything that is football related, trying to figure out what's going on with the offensive line and whether or not they're going to change that scheme at all as far as blocking. That's going to be pretty intriguing as well. Many different ways that you can block. And is that under discussion right now? I got to believe it is after the, lack of consistency one season ago. All right, let's bring in John Osher. Let's get his thoughts on this. Later in the show, I'll get to the defensive side. And again, I've really cut out the line of scrimmage. I just have. And until they put the pads on, I just really cannot comment on it. So it's basically skill position guys. But that means linebackers, and that means defensive backs. So we'll get to them as well coming up in our second hour. We start with John Osher. We also will get you involved. Best way, 641-1010 text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
He's nationally syndicated sports writer Matt Hayes.
And you might be...
And he's Jags beat writer Hayes Carline.
At least he got his name right.
Get more Hayes.
I gotta get me one of those.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
From free agency to the draft, training camp to the playoffs, nobody covers the Jags like Jaguars today. Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring the smartest football talk in Duval. Covered by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Here's good advice from your friends here at 1010XL. High-flying Jacko here, and the next time you need to send a gift for a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or just for the fun of it, call on the experts at Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers does it right.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Tony here from Tony D's New York Pizza. No time for lunch? I get it. Walk in, check out our lunch specials, and you're back out in minutes. Fast, hot, fresh, and ready to go. Tony D's New York Pizza. Quick, easy, and always fresh. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
The weather is heating up, and it's time to drop a line in the water. Gear up today at Green Acres Sporting Goods, Jacksonville's fishing headquarters. From Shimano and Penn Reels to Zoom baits and much more for saltwater and freshwater fishing. They've got everything you need to land the big one. And when your gear needs work, trust their expert rod and reel repair to keep you casting like new. Stop by Green Acres today or shop online at greenacresporting.com.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
It's a week-long flash sale right now from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for just $125 and $5.99 air duct cleaning per unit. Call 287-5727. Zero Res. Spelled backward or forward, it's the right way to clean.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
John Osher, ladies and gentlemen, SeniorRiderJaguars.com. He joins us fresh off of OTA number 1. Johnny, how are you?
Rick, how you doing? What about the sweep? Are you surprised it was sweep?
Oh, yeah. It just, to me, it's one of the most remarkable stories I can think of in quite some time, historically speaking, to beat them 4 straight after winning the President's Cup. And, 2 of Colorado's best players were not 100%, but still, the way Vegas is playing right now is scary.
Yeah, well, I'm not in the NFL, I'm not a big believer in coaching changes just for the sake of it. But there are sports where it matters. I'm always intrigued by hockey with how a coaching change can spark it. And I'm always intrigued by the pulling the goalie thing.
Yeah.
Where you pull your best guy and think it's going to work. But in that sport, it does something, right? I mean, like it seems to be a legitimate thing. I don't understand because I didn't grow up with hockey.
Right.
But you see it all the time where the goalie pull, is a momentum change. So.
Yeah. There's no question about it. And if you go back to Game 3, Carter Hart, I mean, he really should have given up about 5 or 6 goals. He made some spectacular saves, but it was 3-0. And I'm saying to myself, wow, I wonder if they're going to sit him out and bench him for the remainder of the game. And they stayed with him. And then, Las Vegas turns around and scores 5 straight goals.
Yeah. Again, I guess that's the equivalent of overcoming a 21-0 deficit.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, a remarkable series. And the Vegas coaching, obviously, he's done a lot of different stops.
Yeah, I love John Tortorella. And the disappointing part of this for me is that it's over. I was hoping for a 6 or 7 game series. It looks like we're going to get that Game 4 coming up tonight, obviously in Montreal between the Hurricanes and the Canadiens. It looks like that's going to go 6, maybe 7, but I was hoping that would be the deal in the West as well. All right, John, let's get to yesterday. Let's start with Brian Thomas Jr. And all these skill guys are supposed to look good in situations like this, but I certainly thought that was the case for him yesterday.
Yeah, and with OTAs and anything that's unpadded, I always sort of hesitate. Okay, just because I saw something doesn't mean it's a storyline. But the fact I thought what was really interesting was Liam talking about after practice about how encouraged he was that Trevor and BTJ seem to be getting on the same page. Mm-hmm. They've done a lot of work. Liam seemed to attach something to it meaningful, which, again, he knows far more about what they're looking for out of unpadded work than the naked eye does. So the fact that Liam talked about it a lot and Trevor talked about, hey, we still got 3 or 4 weeks, still got on the same page. Clearly it's a topic. I don't know if it'll put to bed trade talk. The trade talk should be put to bed. But clearly they want BTJ to be a bigger part of the offense, more reliable part of the offense. And I thought it was interesting that Liam came out and very candidly said, hey, we got to throw deep more. That's something we want to work on. We need to get our yards per pass up. And I'm paraphrasing what he said. But when a coach talks about that in the spring, it's clearly a focus of what they want to do.
Yeah, and I thought it was great yesterday. Both, Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen spoke on Brian Thomas Jr., but you hear Liam talk about the deep ball, and then all of a sudden Trevor's asked about it. He's diving into the 12 and 13 personnel, about creating mismatches with those big tight ends and also being able to run the football. When you get to Brian Thomas Jr., though, in his route tree, this is what I'm going to be most interested in. He's not at the point now where that's all he's going to do is just run deep deep routes. I mean, what do you think about the screen game, the crossing patterns? And, it didn't work a year ago. It did as a rookie. What do you think's going to happen there?
Well, clearly they believe there's something to the chemistry thing between the two. That I don't know if it's fair to say that it wasn't there last year, but they're clearly trying to increase it. So, look, he wasn't as effective last year for whatever reason. I think a big part of it was they weren't feeding him as much. There were more options in the offense. When he had the big year as a rookie, he sort of was the offense. So, yeah, I think they want to open up the route tree. They want to see if there's more that they can wrinkle in with having him do. I think the big key with BTJ, whatever the numbers are, and I think he can put up bigger numbers, I think they want to make sure that defenses acknowledge him all season, because as long as defenses are paying attention and worried about him, then he's valuable no matter how many balls he catches, because defenses are worried and it opens up things for the rest of the receivers. So I think they want to establish and make sure defenses know early in the season, hey, he's not just a deep threat. You have to guard him across the middle. You have to guard him on screens, because we're willing to have him do that. So I think that's going to be a big storyline early is, is he more involved than just the deep ball? And then when he's throwing deep, does he give them that threat? He's got to be a threat in the offense, right?
John Osher, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Jags OTA #1 was yesterday. They'll be back on the field. They're on the field as far as media accessibility. We'll get that opportunity coming up on Monday. The top 3 wide receivers, I thought, looked as expected. Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, all very good. And we all expect that a deal is going to get done here with Parker. What do you believe about him this year returning punts? Because he has gotten nicked at times. He's so good. But when you have the rookie, and I know he's not out there, the kid out of Stanford, and, Amir Abdullah, and we don't even know if he's going to make the team. Who am I looking for here? Josh Cameron. I mean, it's tough to take him away from that position, but they don't have a clear-cut number one. They have 3 guys who can be a number one. Is that a possibility that maybe that's taken away from him?
Well, my guess is they have it play out like this. If somebody dazzles them in training camp, if they put a young guy or even Abdullah in preseason and he looks like there's some spark there, then I think you could see early in the season them have Parker return in big situations and see if what they saw in preseason is real. I think they would love over the course of the season to have somebody who's so good back there that it's easy to have Parker not do it.
Right.
That being said, somebody's going to have to take it from him.
Yeah.
Because he's too good at that. I would be surprised if you see the season start without Parker Washington back there. Now, there have been a lot of teams over the last 2 or 3 decades where they have a star who returns punt in big situations, but you don't put him back there to risk it all the time. I think they would love to have that be the case with Parker Washington, where he returns, I don't know how many punts he returns in a season. If it's 50, which is too many, but if it's 50-plus return in a season, have Parker return the big 15 and have somebody else return the big 35. I don't know if that's the breakdown. You know what I'm getting at?
I do, yeah. And I think it makes a lot of sense.
Parker return the big one until somebody proves that he shouldn't be returning the big one.
Second half of the season, they had some big leads. And, to me, and, it's weird in the NFL. It's unlike college where they switch things up all the time. We always talk about the quarterback who almost never comes out, but it feels, and that's a big what if, but if that's the case, 38 returns a year ago, 25 for 341. Yeah. That's 13.6 an average, 2 touchdowns, 13 fair catches. He is very, very good at what he does. But, we've seen at times he gets nicked up. He gets buzzed on the field.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with him returning punts, okay, the average is very impressive. But he also has shown the last couple of years he's got a knack for breaking it and for crossing the end zone with it, or crossing the goal line with it. And think about what huge. I mean, they didn't win the Texans game, but it gave them a spark against a very good defense that day. And then it really won the San Francisco game. There was more to it than that. But without that punt return, it's a different game in the second half. So,
right.
Do you want to have that spark taken away? You don't know when it's going to come. But if it wins you a game and a half, boy, they don't want to take it off the field. So it's absolutely a dilemma that you want to make sure that you have somebody who can really do it before you cut his roll down in that front.
Have you ever seen anything like the way Travis Hunter was yesterday? I mean, he looked like a kid on Christmas morning. He was just dying to be involved, and he was with the earpiece and poking his head into the huddle. But, I mean, you talk about antsy and just, wanting to get out there and be active.
Yeah, look, I don't pretend in the year that he's been here to really know Travis because, he doesn't really love talking to the media. A sort of a private guy when he's on social media around Jaguars media like us. He's just not really that guy you're going to get to know quickly. So I can't speak that I know what kind of kid he is. But everything you hear is that he loves football, cares about it more than anything. That's what he cares about. It's not necessarily the money, the social media stuff. All that stuff is great. But everything you hear is that everything he's about is being on the field and being involved with it. So that tracks with what I've heard about him.
Yeah.
I have no reason to believe that it's not genuine. And, look, he's a joy to watch in that environment. I just hope he's healthy all season.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see him. That sounded skeptical, and that's not what I mean. I hope he's healthy so we can watch it. I think everybody does. And you just hope that that's what we get to see and that's the storyline this year because it would be a lot of fun.
Let's wrap it up with a couple of defensive guys. I had the opportunity to catch up with Ventrell Miller after his workout yesterday. I thought he was all over the place, really sideline to sideline, even slightly disruptive considering there's no contact. Did he catch your eye?
Yeah, and he's going to be the guest on the Ozone podcast this week. I talked to him last week, so I probably got the vibe that you did. And one of my questions to him was, he's always smiling, Rick. He's always a guy who's excited. He's had to persevere through so much, injured in college, hasn't really been able to accelerate in the NFL. He was a co-starter last year, and all of a sudden Devin Lloyd plays well in the opener, and Ventrell's role kind of gets reduced again. Not anything against Ventrell. They just needed to play Devin Lloyd. So wouldn't you love to see him stay healthy the whole season, take advantage of it, see that smile? I mean, he's a guy who it's easy to root for.
Mm-hmm.
And look, around the facility, you never hear people talk about, hey, we're really going to miss Devin because they believe they believe that Ventrell Miller can come in and get it done.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a cool storyline. I don't think you're going to see a drop off, and I think Ventrell's a big reason why. If he is, good for him because he's really had to persevere.
All right, leave us with this. Anyone else on the defensive side of the football yesterday that stood out for you?
Not really, but Eric Murray had the pick, so that's there. It's hard for me in an indoor practice, first OTA, just getting that sort of brief snapshot. But Ventrell stood out. The receivers stood out. I'll be anxious as OTAs continue to see sort of how the rookie tight ends look. So beyond that, not a great answer, but I don't have a disingenuous answer. The receivers and the chemistry with Trevor, you expected it to look good. It does. That was sort of my takeaway from the first day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with all of that. Senior writer of Jaguars.com is John Osher. Make sure you read everything from John and his staff. Just go to Jaguars.com. Enjoy Game 4 tonight, John. Thank you.
I'm excited, Rick. We'll see you, buddy.
There he goes, John Osher. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 4. MTL. Montreal. Are you kidding me? The old Forum. The ghosts of the Forum. That'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun to be at that game tonight. Carolina up 2-1 in the best of 7. And, a lot of pressure. There's been just enormous pressure on Montreal anyway, because they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1993. Yeah, I was looking at this earlier today before we headed to the break, RJ. The 3 early games, or JJ, the 3 early games on this Wednesday. Blue Jays beat the Marlins 2-1. Brewers beat the Cardinals 2-1. Guardians beat the Nationals 3-2. Let's add the Phillies beat the Padres 3-0. Another incredible outing for Chris Sanchez. But you talk about low-scoring games in Major League. And now this is in the Diamondbacks 3-2 over the Giants.
I think if you bet day games, I would have to go under, like blind bet every day game, just because I feel like every time it's a day game, there's a pitcher going out there and just shoving. And you look up and it's like 0-0 in the 5th inning. I don't know if that has anything to do with like a getaway day, because it is for a lot of teams. I don't know. In the Phillies case, it doesn't, because Chris Sanchez hasn't given up a run in 44 2/3 innings.
Wow.
Which is like a Phillies record at this point. I saw his May stats. He didn't give up a single run in May. He only walked 3 guys in like 6 outings. Just masterpiece once again for Chris Sanchez.
Much like John Tortorella, the firing and the promotion of Don Mattingly has absolutely worked.
The Phillies are going to be a force to be reckoned with. I know they had a really slow start, like you said. Mattingly came in. I mean, they've lost like maybe a handful of games since he's taken over. So I don't know if they'll jump over the Braves. The Braves have a good lead, but if you really don't want to face a wild card team, it would be the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah. San Diego's a really interesting story as well. They're 31-24. Yet Machado's hitting 169. Tatis doesn't even have a home run.
Merrill.
Bogarts is hitting 245. Yeah, Merrill's at 200 after going 2 for 4 today. I was looking at this the other night. There are so many of these young players and really good players who are hitting, below the what's the line
Mendoza
again?
line?
Mendoza line. Thank you. It's really pretty scary.
Yeah.
To see how bad it is in Major
League
League
Baseball. They did
Baseball.
like a whole ESPN cover story on these 5 guys in particular who are just below them into like 140s so far in the season.
Cal Raleigh.
Oh, dude.
He's hitting like 145.
He hit 1,000 homers last year.
And
life comes at you very fast in baseball.
I think he's on the injury list. I know he's on the injury list. Okay, let's do this. Let's come back and let me check. All right, good. Getting a lot of good questions. Okay, let's keep after them, and we'll answer them on the other side. 641-1010. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also tonight on YouTube, 1010XL Into the Night.
Get the goods on Gainesville 24/7. Search 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
When you're injured, you need more than legal advice. You need someone who truly cares. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, I take pride in what we do. You're never just another case. We take the time to listen, guide you through the process, and fight for your recovery every step of the way. And remember, you pay nothing unless we win. Zip, nada, nothing. Learn more at CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I want to thank our friends from Dailies for sponsoring our Walk-Off Charities Golf Classic, June 8th at Deer Creek Country Club. Now get this. For every fried chicken sandwich sold between now and then, Dailies will donate $1 to Walk-Off. That's right. For every single fried chicken sandwich sold between now and then, you help a young person in the community play baseball. So head to Dailies today and grab one of those delicious fried chicken sandwiches. And we'll see you at the Dailies Walk-Off Golf Classic, June 8th. Dailies. It's nicer here.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole group can enjoy? Discover the thrill of Sharks football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's Star Wars night. Presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Don't miss this Saturday, May 30th, as your Sharks look to continue their winning ways. Kickoff 7 o'clock and tickets start at just $15. This is the fun you've been looking for. The first 1,000 kids receive a free lightsaber. Dress up as your favorite character and get photos with members of the 501st Legion before the game. The Force is strong with this deal. Try our family 4-pack. Get 4 tickets and $50 in food or merchandise vouchers, all for only $100. Join us on field after the game for our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right. It's good to have you with us, with you till 8 o'clock tonight. Hacker in Hawaii. The photos are out there. They're on his social medias, man. Looks like he's having a phenomenal time in Hawaii. So that is good news. All right. Florida State's announced 4 more game times. Opening day, New Mexico State, August 29th, 7 o'clock at night. That's good. That'll give the suffering Knoll fans an opportunity to get really liquored up on that Saturday. You're going to need it. You're going to need plenty of liquor for this team this year. Alabama, September 19th. That's 3:30 on ABC. That's at Alabama. That Florida State, New Mexico State game is on the CW.
Been there.
I've got 27 different streaming services. I hope I can get the CW on one of those.
You can't. I had to buy a whatever the antenna thing is that you get local channels, because I like you, I just do the Apple TV, all the streaming things. So when USF played Miami last year, I had to get literal antenna to watch the CW. It was hell.
Wow. That's not
good.
good.
The ACC for you folks.
That's not good. Friday night, October 9th, 7 o'clock, Florida State at Louisville, ESPN. And then at Pitt on another Friday night, November 13th, 7 o'clock on ESPN. So there you go. That is the very latest. All right, let's grab some of these calls. Rick and JJ, have you seen True Detective 1? Some of the best TV you ever watched. It's in my top 5 shows.
Yeah.
Especially, is that with Woody and McConaughey?
It is.
That was and it came out probably 10 years ago or whatever it was, but yes.
They've come out with multiple seasons since.
I've seen them all. Yeah.
I haven't seen the recent one with, what's her name from Silence of the Lambs?
Oh, Jodie Foster?
Yes.
I did. Is that the one that's out in Alaska?
Yes.
It's
That's
good.
the newest one. Okay.
But that came out probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, I thought it was good. Yes, I have seen
Season 2, I did not love. It had what's her name from Wedding Crash?
Was that Rachel McAdams?
Yes.
She gets a little dirty in that, though.
Colin Farrell.
I didn't know she had that in her.
Yeah.
Isn't season 1? Isn't that all the rage about the actress now that everyone loves? The brunette. She was in White Lotus.
Michelle Monaghan?
Nope. Wasn't that. The other one. Someone help me out here. One of our listeners, 641-1010. Daddio. Something. Her last name is Daddio.
Yes. Alexandra? I don't know her. I mean, I know her from looking at her, but I'd never even heard her name before. She's got those eyes.
She really does. 3800 Blue, I really enjoyed the interview you did yesterday with Ventrell Miller. The dude sounds really chipper. Fired up about the season. I'm excited for him. Go Gators. I had one of our interns yesterday ask me, he says, "You're a Florida State guy, you're going to interview a Gator?" I was like, yeah. Like, kind of separate.
That's sort of how it works.
He kind of separate. I didn't think of him as a Gator. I thought of him as a 4-year member of the Jaguar. But anyway, that's good.
By the way,
interesting observation.
Back to Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah.
So yes, White Lotus.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Right.
That was where she was like the conservative wife of the newlywed, and then all of a sudden she takes off her shirt at the pool and she's in a bikini, and you're like,
with Sydney
whoa!
Sweeney.
Yeah, and Sydney Sweeney's even like, okay.
Yeah. I may have to go watch that tonight.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was the same lady. Very talented.
84-46. Doesn't every Madden player learn to set up a running game, or am I in the minority speak for that? I don't play Madden. I don't play video games. But I can get away from Madden and say, if you can run, it fixes everything. It really does. And out of the deep ball, out of the screen game, out of everything else and again, it's tough to complain because they improved so much offensively a year ago, but there's still room for more improvement. Running is the most important part as far as I am concerned. 35-25 Blue, early pick for QB2. Yeah, I still think it's Nick Mullins. He's been around now for nearly a decade, and he's a guy who does have some experience. The two young guys do not. They really like Gus Bradley's son, Carter Bradley. They like him a great deal. Joey Aguilar, he looked okay during rookie minicamp. Yeah, I know he had a couple of bad balls yesterday. My guess is Mullins is the 2, and Bradley makes it on the practice squad. But, that could change. Either way, it's scary.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary I'm not going to be the one that's going to get blamed for this, but it's scary. Remember, when they brought in Mac Jones because they believed if something happened, he could win games.
Which he did.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ton.
Yeah. 26-36. Rick, how about Bill Belichick threw the ball 3 times the entire game with Mac Jones? Run the ball, Chris Romero. Yeah, that was... He's done that. He did that once with Brady. I think it was against the Miami Dolphins. He ran it like 21 out of 22 plays. Whatever works. 0976 Blue. Alice has always been known as a great golfer. He definitely has game. We're not worthy talking about Alice Cooper. Best golfer I've ever played with. Yeah, I was asked about that a little bit earlier. Been some good ones over the years. Absolutely. I don't know if I want to get into that type of stuff. I just don't really think that I want to at this point in the program. CRS092, Rick, I agree. I hate ESPN, but the ESPN app on my phone is convenient and easy to navigate through. I love ESPN, the app. To me, it's more accessible than CBS. It's more than Yahoo or anything else. Their app. No question. Absolutely. Blue, I heard Liam liked Hainsley called up protection faster than they did last year. You know, I'm trying to think back on that. Let me double check on that with Robert Hainsey on, actually understanding the protection faster than a year ago. I'm not sure. I know that you're asking this based on what I'm wondering about as far as how they're going to be able to run the football, what their style of blocking is going to be. One of my favorite days of the year is the roundtable that we have with position coaches. It's the only time all season you get an opportunity to talk with these guys. And I've learned an awful lot over the years. Deshae Townsend, who I thought was really good when he was here, get one of the greatest answers ever about, gaining takeaways and how that works. Then you have a guy like Mike McCoy, who basically told me that I was blind, that Trevor had never made a mistake in his life when it came to throwing the football. It was always someone else's fault. And I was looking back at him and I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Please tell me that you are. And, that includes Sean Surratt last year. Again, that's a great chess match that doesn't get enough pub anywhere because I think it's so hard to figure out, even for passionate football fans. What style of running are they doing? What style of block? I mean, is it straight zone blocking? Is there some gap blocking? It's not straight man on man. You're never going to have a defense that lines straight man to man. And, how much of that can they force you to change if they're stunting, if they're blitzing? Look at the other side of the football. Look at what Anthony Campanile did a year ago. He blitzed 26% of the time. But look at how exotic those blitzes would be. There were times where he was dropping Josh Hines-Allen. I don't like that, but he'd do it. And there are times he'd send a corner, or there are times he'd send Dewey, or send a safety, or certainly, Devin Lloyd. I don't think he had a sack last year, but he had several pressures. I'll have to look up Lloyd. Did he have a sack? Did he have a strip sack? I'm trying to remember. I know he had all those picks. Let me see if he actually did have a sack. As a team, Jacksonville obviously had very few sacks.
He had 1.5 last year.
He had 1.5 sacks. Okay. 7 pass defense, 5 interceptions. Did he have a fumble? He forced 1 fumble. No, actually, it was a fumble recovery for Devin Lloyd. All right, let's take our final break of the night.
Oh, it better not be.
Or, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
4th down's an enigma. The most important down, in my mind, is 3rd down. Okay? 54% of the time last year, Devin Lloyd was on the field on 3rd down and 4th down, if you want to add that. Travis Etienne, 3rd down. He was on the field last year 52 times. LaQuinn Allen Jr. was on the field 146 times. I believe there's this feeling that is going on, particularly with the national media, that they haven't been able to replace Lloyd and they haven't been able to replace Etienne. ETN got 60% of the running back snaps. Not 70, 75, 80, 60. A smidge over half. So just remember that. And yes, he had the opportunity to break some long ones. The screen game didn't work the way that we thought it would. That was a disappointment. I mean, Travis Etienne, you would have thought absolutely would be on the field on third down. All the years he's worked with Trevor Lawrence, being able to catch the screen, So the next time someone tells you, oh, they didn't replace Lloyd, oh, they didn't replace Etienne, throw them back facts. Look at where they were come third down, okay? And in the case of Lloyd, fourth down.
It's hard to explain, but play-by-play just sounds better on the radio.
What a turn of events!
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World,
simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
which school won the first NCAA men's basketball championship?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Oregon Ducks won the first NCAA men's basketball championship in 1939. They defeated the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Tom McMahon is here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned and operated business on the First Coast for nearly 20 years. Known for reliability, quality craftsmanship, and professional service, Armstrong Fence handles it all, from big projects like stadiums and schools to your very own backyard. They build a wicked strong fence, and they do it right the first time. When you need a fence in Jacksonville, trust Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, we got to go out to Sin City. How about Las Vegas? Since they brought in John Tortorella, 19-4-1, they sweep Colorado. Still cannot believe it. Colorado, 55 regular season wins, 121 points, which is ninth all time. And they just could not score. Golden Knights win it 2-1. They move on tonight in Montreal. How cool would it be to be sitting there drinking Labatt's Blue, watching the Canadiens and the Hurricanes? And I was asked, who asked me that? It was yesterday at the Miller Electric Center. Who am I going for, Canadiens or Hurricanes? Well, yeah, I don't dislike the way that I used to. I mean, I like to complain. I mean, when I complain, it's because I like to do it. As I've always said, if you're a dude, and this could even apply to women, okay, outside of complaining, the best thing that you can do and that I recommend is to pout. Pouting is just sensational. Outside of that, though, complaining, and I really only complain about sports teams, but, I was born and raised to despise Montreal. Right there with the New York Yankees. I mean, they broke Boston's heart. And P.K. Subban is such an ass about the way he handles this. And I feel like Mark Messier wants to wind up and punch him. But that's today's journalism, openly rooting for Montreal.
Wouldn't it be better for the sport if Montreal won? The league?
Certainly better than Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who has already won? 2006 maybe? Something like that?
Right, coming over from Hartford.
I believe they beat Jerome McGinley, the Flames.
Maybe that was it. It would be better. One of the original six. It's where the game was invented. Old school hockey. Yes, absolutely.
It was 2006. They beat the Oilers in 7.
Yeah, didn't Tampa Bay go up against the Flames?
Yes.
With Tortorella.
Wow.
It's been 20 years. I mean, this Tortorella story is just phenomenal. If it wasn't another sport, I mean, think of Michigan when they went on that 6-0 run to win the national title in '89. When Frieder left for Arizona State? I can't remember who replaced him as the Michigan college basketball coach. If you say it, I'll know it. But that was a 6-game run. All right. I'm trying to think of other in-season switches that have happened that have totally ignited a program, whether it be football, baseball, hockey, basketball. I'm not sure.
Steve Fisher,
thank you. There you go.
Absolutely. So what happened? He
just took the money at Arizona State.
Before the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a title-winning team.
He did.
Wow.
And his brother was a professor at Florida State, and he used to come in when I was tending bar, and he would ask, for Michigan games, if they weren't, back then in the late 80s, early 90s, you didn't have the channels that you have now, and you had to hop up on those old school. It was like, what was it? Comrex and Stardust. And I'm trying to remember the name of the satellite feeds, but he continued to do that with those late starts at Arizona State, even after he made the move and Michigan went on to win that 1989 national championship. Ramil Robinson, same high school as Patrick Ewing, Cambridge and Latin, right outside of Boston. And his coach, by the way, was Mike Jarvis. Remember the bald-headed Mike Jarvis went to St. John's? Yeah. He caught Patrick Ewing in high school.
So this story is basically Lane Kiffin. If Golding went on to win with Ole Miss.
There you go. Right.
Got pretty close. Which, by the way, Lane Kiffin, he hasn't stopped talking, but
he hasn't.
One of the quotes that came out this week was, from the SEC meetings was, if I was still the coach, we wouldn't have lost to Miami. We'd be in that title game.
Oh,
which I honestly think that if you were the coach, you wouldn't have even beat Georgia. I think that part of them getting up for those games was the fact that their coach left them. Had to be huge motivation.
I think it had a lot to do with it, and I think we need some heels.
Oh, yeah.
These are two of them, John Tortorella and Lane Kiffin. There's frankly not enough of them. Right? I feel like Kirby's trying to be a heel.
But, yeah.
But, the golly gee, Josh, it's just not going to work with Kirby. But there's just not enough. Right? I mean, we don't even have one in baseball, do we? We don't even have a skipper right now that is so angry, right? What about in the NFL? Maybe a Harbaugh? I don't know. I mean, who is an NFL coach right now you just kind of look at? Maybe D'Amico Ryans, I would say no. Even though
people love him.
Yeah, I mean, he defended his guy, whether you like it or not. I mean, there's really not, especially with Belichick out. I'm not saying soft. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have the agitators out there. You don't have those who people can't wait for them to come in so you can root against them.
Yeah, I guess.
Very
really
few.
Racking my brain for the NFL.
Very few.
MLB, I literally watch baseball every single night. I couldn't name half the managers in baseball, so that's just hard to do in general. With the DH, you see them having to do a lot less, especially, in the National League. You used to see the managers have to do all kinds of double switches like every single game. Now it's like, maybe have to pinch hit once every couple games.
What would be cool is Martin St. Louis was on that team.
He was.
Taking on his former coach if Montreal gets there. He's the head coach of the Canadiens.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then you've got the sensational Rod Brindamore in Carolina. Rod Brindamore should already be in the Hall of Fame as a player. It's really a travesty that he is not. He was a great two-way player. Okay, he was a great, very good offensive player, more than 400 goals. I want to say more than 500 assists, but he also was a good defensive hockey player. And it seems like you don't get credit as a good defensive hockey player unless you play defense. If you're a forward or a center, Patty Bergeron I could think of, but very few get really recognized for playing great two-way hockey. All right, final thoughts coming up on the other side. It's great to have you with us right here on this Wednesday edition. I hope you enjoy that game tonight. It's coming up at 8 o'clock. TNT will have it for you. If not, True TV will have it for you. If not, HBO Max will have it for you. Hurricanes at Canadians. It's Game 4.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Hey, Hickett here, and oh man, TopDressing.com came and hit my lawn with that deep aeration. I got to see their truck. Ooh, is that cool? It's like a transformer. Aerators rolling right off it. They punched the yard. They dropped their proprietary mix and cleaned up like they were never there. Next step, rich, green St. Augustine grass. If your lawn needs a real turnaround, call TopDressing.com today for your free estimate. They'll make your grass look like a golf course for real. Call today and top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at KeyBuickGMC.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
It's a week-long flash sale right now from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for $125 and $5.99 air duct cleaning per unit. Book now before the offer disappears. Call 287-5727. Flash sale now through the end of the week. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for $125 and air duct cleaning for $5.99 per unit. Call 287-5727. 287-5727. Zero Res. Spelled backward or forward, it's the right way to clean.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Summer and fall registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball, plus girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder. Fields and gyms all over the First Coast, including Fort Family Field. And the best thing is, I-9 Sports offers sports year-round, so kids can always find a sport to play. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for fixing my air conditioner last week. It's way nicer at my place now.
Glad we could help. Good to know it was just a small repair.
I know. A new air conditioner can be pretty expensive.
I mean, they do keep your whole house nice. That's a lot of space to keep cool.
I know.
And they do it all summer long, even when the weather is totally Jacksonville temperature outside.
I know.
Luckily, if you ever do need a new AC, we can arrange a financing plan that'll make it easy for you to handle.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa. They can show banking information? Cool glasses.
Short term, long term, low interest, 0 down payment. There's all kinds of options for bigger projects or even repairs as low as $500.
I wish I had these math sunglasses in high school.
You and me both, pal.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Pros, save more on the materials you need to get the job done, inside and out, at Lowe's. Right now, get 10% off in-stock Trex Naturals decking, now available in more styles. Plus, get 15% off select custom entry, interior, and storm doors. Then, we'll deliver it all straight to your job site to help keep your jobs moving. Get the brands pros trust, priced right, and ready when you need them. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you as Walk-Off Charities has grown, we now manage a large athletic facility with numerous fields, including the Bregan Baseball Complex. To get around, we needed a good, reliable golf cart. I went straight to Dynamic Drives and Design in Jack's Peak. I met with Travis, told him exactly what our needs were. Would you believe before you knew it, the perfect cart was delivered to us at an incredible price? If you need a golf cart, Travis and his team are the go-to. Learn more about them at dynamicdrivesdesign.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I just looked up Rob Brindamore for all you Carolina fans out there. 1,184 points in 1,484 games. That is a ton of games. That's got to be top 20, top 25 all time as far as games. But 452 goals, 732 assists. Plus he fought 1,100 career penalty minutes. Played in some major cities, St. Louis and Philly. And then wound up in Carolina. Actually had a pretty lengthy career in Carolina, but he is a snub. No doubt about it. Where was that? Baloo, what do you mean when you say stack the pads? It's protecting the 5-hole, right? The 5-hole is between the legs of the goaltender. When I talk about stacking the pads, that's typically the way that I address you if you try to sneak something into me that may be foul as far as language, or maybe foul is perhaps saying something that the cancel culture could get on me for. When I talk about me stacking the pads, that means I'm not going to let that slip through. I'm going to catch it. Smarter than I sound, if that makes any sense. 1636 Blue, JJ, 2 questions. What do you think about Aguilar behind Trevor? I'd be surprised. I would. flat out ability. He may have it, but there's so much that goes into the role of a backup quarterback. And I think where you're at right now, an 8-year veteran, is where this football team is going to go. And, I hate to say it this way, but I will. I think it's pretty much standard around the league. There's been a couple of exceptions, right? But if you get to your backup quarterback, you're done. I believe that. And, I'm not going to wrap up the show by going back to Philly years ago and some stuff like that. Yeah, there's been an exception here and there. But you get to a backup quarterback, that's a problem. No doubt about it. All right, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you to John Osher. Good stuff there from Johnny O. Enjoy the hockey game. We're back tomorrow. Fired up, ready to go on a Thursday beginning at 6 o'clock. That'll do it for us. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. I am Rick Ballou. Have a great evening. We'll talk Thursday at 6 o'clock.